What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is week 2 of the Regionals question and answer. Today we're joined by 3 new people, and I didn't talk about who should go first, but whoever wants to go first can go first. Just go.
I will go first. What am I going first for? Saying who I am?
Oh, to introduce yourself, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm JP. I play in Washington. I play Pokemon. I try real hard. That's it. That's all I got.
Alright, I'm Kevin Baxter. I wasn't supposed to be in this video, but I'm Kenny's fill-in, so hello.
I'm Brandon. I play in Texas. I'm alright at Pokemon.
And if y'all don't know, the reason why I got Brandon and JP on here is before regionals, I'm pretty sure they were the first and second seed in the rankings.
That is correct.
This is correct.
So I thought it'd be a perfect time to have both these guys come on here, especially since they have regionals this weekend. It's y'all's first weekend of regionals, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So much pressure.
Oh, y'all got it.
They're not that hard.
No. Kevin, not that hard, yeah.
Hey, man, speak for yourself. They seem pretty hard to me.
I don't know, dude. You got first and second.
I'm sweating in those things, man.
Alright, well, let's jump into the questions. The first one's for JP. And Leon Williams says, when will JP throw the Shark Tale party he promised?
Oh, I'm just so... Okay, so the reason why Liam is asking this is because he gave me a copy of Shark Tale. We were playing at like a Cities or something, and just out of nowhere, he goes, "Yo, JP, if I give you a copy... Have you ever seen Shark Tale?" And I was like, "No, like, isn't it supposed to be bad?" And he's like, "If I give you a copy of Shark Tale, will you promise to watch it?" And I said, "Yes, I will do that." And so, like, 6 months later, he gives me at, like, Vancouver Regionals, an actual DVD copy of Shark Tale. So I'm like, okay, now I'll watch it. And I sat down, and I watched it with my wife, and it was terrible. It was really bad. So, I don't know. I can't promise that this will ever happen, because I feel ill just thinking about having to sit through that movie again. It's really bad. That's my story.
But I mean, if you get to watch with him, it might be worth the while.
I guess. Like, it's speechless. It's truly an abomination. It got nominated for, like, Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. How? Were there only like 3 movies made that year that were animated? That's like the only way. You'll have to take my word for it. Don't actually watch it, because it's bad.
I trust your judgment. Alright, so let's go over the very vague question. We'll get Brandon to go first. What's your pick for week 2 of regionals?
Currently, probably the same Yveltal that Danny used week 1. I mean, I've been working on the list for a while. It's really consistent. I've tested it the most, so yeah, that's my pick.
Alright, what about you, JP?
Oh my gosh, I don't like... People are trying to convince me to play Toad Bats, so I might look into it. Yveltal seems solid. I also might test some more Manectric. It could be underwhelming, but it would be more of a meta thing, if anything. I don't know if it's actually good. It might be too clunky. But probably one of those 3.
Alright. What about you, Kevin?
As of right now, I'm playing with the same Flareon deck I just played. I felt pretty good about most of the matchups, and I could tell as the tournament went on that I was actually getting better at playing it. So
yeah,
I feel like I'd be most confident in that right now, unless something crazy comes up between now and regionals.
Okay. And you don't know, definitely Toad Bats is probably my number 1 pick.
Nice.
Yeah. Alright, Kevin, do you want to answer the Kenny questions?
Sure.
Alright, for Kenny, do you and Sarita do EXP share in person or over Skype or something?
I just watch them while they do it.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said they both come to my house in Ohio.
Okay, so they travel to Washington and go.
Yeah.
But I think they do it over Skype. I doubt they don't do it in person. I can promise they don't do it in person. Like,
yeah, you can tell from the audio that they don't.
but I'm not sure what they use. They could use Audacity. Audacity, I think that's what it's called, or Skype. I imagine it's Skype. It's the easiest thing to use. Let's see. Okay, this is another question for Kenny, but I know Smiley would kind of do this, and and Kevin has done it sometimes. What is the hardest part about commentating that the average player / viewer doesn't know about?
Oh man, keeping a flow. Like, that's just the hardest part about it, is always having something to talk about, like, during any point in the game. You know, there are always quiet points, like, when they're shuffling or something, and then you just have to fill that gap.
Yeah, I agree. There's like, you don't realize until you do it how much downtime there actually is while people are shuffling about random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's see. Okay, the other question is, a friend said to me, they don't need 5 commentators for St. Louis. Why is the statement correct or incorrect? We'll let JP go first.
I mean, aren't some of them for VGC, right?
No, they have 5 commentators for VGC and I think 4 for TCG. Or no, five for TCG and 4 for VGC.
Yeah, I mean, like, 4 to 5 makes sense. Like, you don't want the same... Like, you can't have the same 2 guys commentating all the rounds. That would be, like, terrible, right? So you need at least 4 so that they can, like, switch off. Like, or, like, maybe 3, but, like, if you could get away with it. Also, like, you probably want to have one person do play-by-play and one person do color. So, like, right there, that's, like, probably one of, like, 2 and then 2 again. And then, like, just a 3rd guy, just, like, the 5th guy seems nice. I don't know. It seems reasonable. I would, like, rather err on the side of having, like, one more person than you think you need than be understaffed.
What about you, Brandon?
I think 4 is a good number. I do like that they added Kyle. I think Kyle's a great player. He's done a lot in the community. I think he's going to be great at what he does, so I don't mind them adding a 5th person.
What about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Kyle Sablehouse do some commentary. His stream's hilarious, and, well, I'm sure it's not going to be the same type of content. I think he's going to adapt well. It probably has to do with, like, giving guys more breaks, because it is a very long day.
Mm-hmm.
The thing to also note is this is the first time they're streaming TCG all day. Like, they've never done this before, so they do need, like, a lot more break, like Kevin said. So they do have to go eat lunch sometime, or, you know, if they have the same 4 people, then it might be like someone constantly being on for 2 back-to-back streams or something like that. With the 5th one, they don't have to do that. So.
It also just might be nice to hear different people's, like, takes on things. Like, you get the variety. Could be
That's
good.
True. Yeah. Alright, so is the Quasalupa the best item on Taco Bell's menu? And if you don't know, that is Taco Bell's new cheese taco thing. I don't know if y'all had it or not.
I can't remember the last time I've been to Taco Bell.
Oh, man. What about you, Kevin? You had it yet?
I have not had it, but literally everything on the menu is the same food.
It is.
In a different way, so, yeah, I mean, that's probably pretty good.
Since I'm the only one who's had it, it tastes okay, but it's overpriced. It's like $2.99. It's a taco, but it just inside the taco shell is cheese. Like, there's literally not a difference. So you're paying like $1, like 50 more for like that cheese taco shell. So
that's how they get you.
Yeah, it's good, but I don't know if it's the best. I think the steak quesadilla is still my number 1.
How much is the steak quesadilla?
Like 3 something. I don't know. It's up there. Alright, so this is a weird question from John Kettler. What gender do all of your favorite Pokemon self-identify as? We'll let Kevin go first.
I'm going to venture a guess that Nidoking sees himself as male.
Okay.
I think Lucario sees himself as a male, I think. I hope.
What about you, JP?
Dragonite doesn't conform to society's, like, narrow classification of gender. So, he/she/it rejects that.
The reason why Kettler brought this up is because the other night I realized that Miltank cannot be a guy on VGC.
Yes,
I thought
it's
they
always
could be both.
female. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. But Shaman, I don't know. I feel like it's always a guy. Could be wrong. I don't know.
Aren't legendaries genderless?
look, I could. He's still. What do your favorite Pokemon self-identify as? And
Uh,
all right, so let's see here. What do you think will have more of a showing? Decks that saw success at Virginia, or decks to counter what did good?
Uh,
Go first,
I'll
Brandon.
start.
Yeah.
I think decks that saw success are going to see more play. Mainly like Yveltal and Flareon, and I even think this Raiku Eels deck will see some play.
hmm Yeah, I agree. It's so hard to beat all of them at the same time because they're such vastly different strategies that you're probably just going to see people going with the same stuff, maybe tweaking it here and there. But I don't think it's going to change too much from what we saw in Virginia.
Agreed.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay. All right. So the next question is, how big do you guys think Toadbats will be with decks being crafted to beat it in Virginia? We'll let JP go first.
I still think it will be very strong. Like, item lock is just too good. Like, every time something comes up that, like, thinks will be the end of Toad, like, it never is. Like, Jirachi came out and people were like, Toad is dead! And, of course, it wasn't. Like, I mean, like, the Raikou matchups, probably pretty difficult, but even so, I mean, you could just lock them out if they might not be able to draw what they need, or, you know, you could just avoid that matchup. It's still going to be really strong. I don't see play decreasing too much.
I think it'll take a bit of a dip. There was actually a ton of it in Virginia, and the Eels deck and a couple other things really caught it off guard, so a lot of them dropped off. But yeah, it's probably going to still see some play. I would expect a little bit less, but it can still definitely do well.
I expect it to do well. It's just a solid deck, and I think Pram has a really good list that once that's out, people are going to use that. And yeah, that's it.
All right. So, kind of the, I don't know, it's a weird question. What is the tier list for week 2? I feel like it's almost the same as week 1 with the Raikou thrown in there.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that's accurate.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that might like go down a little bit is Sableye Garbodor.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, well, I never ranked it very high to begin with. Like, every time I pull it out of my testing gauntlet, it's just like, it's not even, like, it's just underperforming for me.
Yeah. Do y'all think any decks will perform, like, better this weekend than last weekend? Like, that is seen play?
Personally, I think that Raikou deck is going to do pretty well this weekend. It's
Yeah.
just really consistent, really strong. I think if it's built the right way, it could do better.
Ooh.
I mean,
Adding a
they
Hex.
weren't playing Hex, yeah.
Yeah, Hex seems pretty important.
Okay. Alright. So, from Israel Sosa to Jonathan, ready for that rematch?
Oh, I've never beaten Israel in a match ever. I'm never ready. I try every day. It's so hard. The first time we've ever played, I won a long game 1, and then I think he won game 2, and then so it was a tie. And then time was called, like, just as we were shuffling, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a tie, but let's just play it. And I think I started, like, Litleo. I was playing a 1-1 Pyroar in my Donphan list, and he was playing Yveltal. And I go, Litleo start, and I Juniper, this is +3, and I Juniper, and I get no basics. And then he knocks me out to win game 3, even though, like, all I had to do was bench a Pokemon, and it would have been a tie. So, ever since then, it's like our game 3s have always been, like, absurd. Game 3 at finals was that turn 1 Ghetsis. Always fun. We'll see. We might not even get paired up. Who knows?
You just gotta dodge him to win it, right?
Oh, I'll take that, dude.
Alright.
Take what I can get.
Let's see, Kevin, this question's for you. Will Kevin let me borrow Tropical Beach this upcoming weekend? It's for a secret deck.
We'll see about that. I don't know.
I wonder what the secret deck is.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. How many people will try to play Kevin Baxter's list this weekend, then be disappointed because they can't get a Tropical Beach?
You really only have to get one. Back when like people played Blastoise and stuff, and you had to get like 3 of them. It was like way harder, but shouldn't be too hard to find one, I would think.
So here's my question, Kevin. If you don't have a tropical beach, do you still play your list?
You can sort of swap out for a parallel city, mainly just to knock off your own shamans. But I mean, I wouldn't take out beach for it. But if you really want to play it and you really can't find a beach, that's a decent replacement.
Hey, the good thing about beach right now, it's not like $200 like it used to be. So, yeah.
It will be soon if this list picks up.
All right. So we kind of already answered this question. What's a sleeper / less popular deck you can see doing well this weekend? I mean, Smiley already said the Raiku Eels thing.
Yeah.
But anybody else have any other suggestions?
Vileplume could possibly pick up. It's possible. Like that, Vileplume is one of those things where it's like sometimes it's just not present at all, and sometimes it's like, whoa, people played Vileplume today. So I go with that. Some Vileplume variant, maybe.
I think a Night March list could do well. Feels built the right way. Like maybe with Archops and stuff like that.
Outside of the Eels deck, I think Eels is going to pick up and play just because there was very few people playing it, and it's very good. Outside of that, though, I think it's really hard to crack the meta in a unique way. So I wouldn't expect anything crazy to like pop out and dominate.
Yeah. I do like JP's idea of Vileplume while we're sitting here with Brandon Smiley. Alright. Man, I hate this question. Do you think Sableye or Time Puzzle will be banned after the regionals?
Why do you hate that question? What's wrong with that question?
Because I don't see how Sableye and or Time Puzzle is going to get banned because it's easily countered.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to get banned from that. I don't think it's like that big of a problem.
Agreed. I haven't even tried it yet. I don't know, but
Third
it doesn't seem
I have tried it. It isn't. Again, it still seems solidly tier 2. Watch that 4 of them top, and I eat my words. I'll take that. But
Well,
I'm saying it here. It's tier 2.
Well, the thing, like, last week of Wrestle, he pointed out that, like, if you play a Regirock somehow in your deck, you can easily beat Sableye. But I think now, if you just play a Groudon,
Don't.
probably beat... Huh? You beat Sableye. So.
Shh.
Sorry, Kevin.
I'm running it back at Florida with Groudon.
Oh, do it!
Okay.
Back to back.
Look at that. Seems good.
You just gotta figure out how to beat the Vessel Queen.
Nah, those can't beat Sableye.
Yeah,
Not
they'll
with Time
all
Puzzle,
lose.
anyway.
They'll all lose to Sableye, and then you'll beat all the Sableyes. Easy, done.
That's the thing about Sableye is like the fear factor of it, because people are afraid of it, and I think for that reason you're going to see a drop in decks that can't beat it, and then also like there will be some there, and it will beat out those decks, but then do well, I think. So I don't think Sableye is going to dominate, but it's definitely going to have an effect on the meta.
That's true. Alright, for Kitty Wisdom, how do you prepare in the morning / night before big cast for an event? Any preferred drink to avoid a sore throat? You'll look during the official stream.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's anything you can really drink to like get your throat ready for an all-day talking event.
Yeah, I don't have the experience to know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I don't know the answer either. Let's see. A general question to all of you. How do you feel that the game would be improved if the player going first was not allowed to use a supporter? I'll ask Smiley that first.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I don't know how that would actually play out. I think, going second might just be better now. I think turn 1 draw support, like Shamans and stuff like that, we'll probably see an increase in play if that happened.
What do you think, Kevin?
I don't know, because like if you go the item route and the shaman route, then you become weaker to certain things. So I think it would probably just end up being better to play normal deck, but opt to go second if you can. It would just make going second better than going first, I think.
Yep.
You got anything
Yeah.
to add to it, JP?
Agreed, because the problem with not being able to play supporter T1 is that could be scary if you might bench out. Like if you don't have any outs to another basic, like Juniper's no longer that out. So like you would hope you go second, and if not, like you could get benched out. It would be kind of weird. I don't know if it would be preferred to what we have now. Obviously, none of us have tested it, so.
I mean, I think I'm not 100% sure. I know Smiley might be able to correct me, or Kevin. The old games where you couldn't play a supporter turn 1, you could attack turn 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you could
You
attack.
could
right?
attack turn 1.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Let's see. There are 2 regionals this year that will have Breakpoint legal for use. Do you think the meta would drastically shift between these regionals and the others? I guess going from week 2 to week 3, will the meta change completely or not?
Yes, but not as much as people think. The way it worked last year at Florida was that after Primal Clash came out, everybody was like really hyped up on like Mega Gardevoir and a couple other things. And it ended up being there was a few new decks, but honestly, most of the meta was just like updated stuff. Like Landorus Bats was still big, it was still Toad. So there's going to be like a smattering, and maybe even more than I think, but a lot of people are just going to update their current decks.
I mean, I don't even think this set's that great. I think there's some cool cards in it, but I think Delinquent could see play. The Time Puzzle, that'll change some things up, but I mean, Disruption might be a bigger thing now in the new format. I haven't had the chance to test it much, and I actually won't be testing it since I'm not attending a 3rd week.
What about you, JP? You going to the 3rd weekend?
Yeah, Oregon. I've actually tested that more than this current format for week 2. I played like I've played some decks like 20 times. It's very exciting. I think it will be the same as it generally is, which is that like all the current archetypes will remain viable, so you'll still see them, but there will be some new stuff, or maybe like some tweaks to current archetypes. So like it'll be a shakeup, but it won't be like completely different.
Yeah. Now here's my question, JP, since you said you tested it. When I've tested Breakpoint for Expanded, I personally can't see any of the new cards actually being their own deck. Like I can't see Greninja being their own deck. I can't see like I can't see any of the breaks or any of the the EXs being their own deck. I mean, I could be wrong, but is there any crazy new decks you think that we'll see expanded that are just from Breakpoint?
Yeah, the problem is like I'm kind of limited to what me and like the people I test with have built. Like I've heard of things like people are saying like, oh, Trevenant break might be good or stuff like that. But yeah, in general I agree with you. Like all the stuff that we're like oh, this seems pretty good is just like existing archetypes that like you add some of the new cards.
Yeah. All right, and these are all questions for Mia Violet, and the last question for Mia is, on that note, what is your second favorite attack or ability name in the game currently? Not your first, your second favorite attack / ability. Hers says Goodnight Babies is obviously number 1.
Just going by names?
Yeah, it's
Like, not
just
what
my
it does?
name. Yeah, just my name.
I like Sensitive Blade.
Nice, good one.
I was gonna actually use Galid too, but Premonition, but
It's a good card.
it's really good.
I'm going with Ninkata Roaring Skies.
What's the ability's name?
Oh, the attack
okay.
is Slight Intrusion.
Ooh, okay.
And Sam Chen photoshopped it to be like a mega, so he just photoshopped like a big yellow like slight intrusion across the whole picture. It's pretty great. I should post that.
I like the attack name Sand Slimer, or the ability name Sand Slimer. There we go. All right. So let's see. When choosing a deck, do you base any of the options on what people played at the previous regionals, or do you take more from what was at cities in that particular area?
So you're saying like
base-
for... Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, just to clarify, are they talking about like, are you looking more at Virginia or are you looking more at like St. Louis cities for St. Louis? I'm assuming that's what they meant.
Yeah, they're just talking about like when you're planning to see or planning to play in an area, like let's say you're going to Collinsville. Do you base what you tech for or play for what has done great in Collinsville area, or what has performed great the past weekend? Because if you don't know, St. Louis was a very like heavily dominated Sableye Garbodor and expanded, but we didn't see any in Virginia. So do you think do you still expect? Like, do you still tech for, say, like Garbodor, knowing that people played in St. Louis, but didn't see any in Virginia, or do you not tech for it because there's none in Virginia?
Yeah. Go ahead.
My bad. So, like, I'm going to base it mainly on, like, results from the past weekend. I think that results from cities are a bit outdated, probably, and the area might not be that great, you know. It'll be more just, like, what people see did well last weekend, and I'm going to go off that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's definitely a recency bias, and like even yeah, for sure.
Well, JP can't even go off
100%.
city results.
Hmm?
Wait, no, y'all only had expanded. Never mind.
Oh yeah, we were expanded town. Standard wasn't real, man. Wasn't
Yeah.
a real format.
Oh, Kevin, did you die on us?
Kevin, no.
There he goes. Okay, he's back. Maybe not. Are you there,
Alright,
Kevin?
can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see me?
Yeah. So what was your answer, Scott? Wait, Kevin.
I was gonna say probably a little bit of both, but I personally would skew more towards regionals because I think I'd be more afraid of people traveling to regionals than like the local player base.
Yeah, that's a good point about Kevin, because you got to remember that these regionals have people coming through all different states, whereas cities is probably just that one state, because you know their other states have their own cities and stuff like that. So, all right, should every deck play Ghetsis? Now, assuming a surge in net decks from Virginia final as well as Night March decks. Yes, should people play Ghetsis because there was a lot of item cards last weekend. By you, Kevin, would Ghetsis ruin your day if they get you turn one?
I wasn't super impressed by people that played Ghetsis against me early on. It usually only hit for like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 on a good day, but it didn't like break my back at all. And I was playing a quote-unquote speed deck, so I mean, you'd probably play Ghetsis in your deck, some cute, turns, but it's not like the end all be all.
What about you, JP?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't, like, think that Ghetsis is something like, oh, I better add that to my deck. Like, I don't see it as, like, a super important card. Like, there are some decks that can use it better than others, and obviously if you're running Jirachi, then it's, like, slightly more appealing. But I agree with Kevin. It's just kind of like, that's a card. I don't know. I feel like maybe you want to... Like Blastoise isn't like super duper popular, and that's the thing that it like kind of hurts the most. But I feel like otherwise, your early game, you kind of just want to focus on strong turns for yourself. And like Kevin said, like only getting 2 or 3 off your first turn supporter is kind of just meh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my main reasoning as well. Is you usually want to spend your first turn setting up and drawing a few cards off courses, or Ghetsis isn't that good. I think Ghetsis just loses like most of its playability after turn 1, and playing a card that just doesn't do much in certain matchups, like or certain games, like where like late game your opponent just plays their items before you get to play your Ghetsis, and people usually just play around it and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right.
As you see, if somebody plays Ghetsis, you just be a seeker for Juniper before
Yeah, like,
your turn.
if you're expecting it, usually.
Alrighty. To Smiley from Max, why would you run so much consistency in already consistent deck like Darkrai?
So he's referring to the Yveltal list that Danny played, and I don't know, it's not bad to have a ton of consistency in a deck, especially at a long tournament like a regionals, where you're playing 14 rounds and a top 8. So just a ton of consistency wins games. That's basically it.
Okay. All right, from Alex, how is Jonathan so good that he was first and second on the rankings for CP?
Lol. Lol, what? I don't know. I commented on an earlier thread. It's just that recently I've been working twice as hard, and that effort has finally paid off. So I'm sticking with that answer.
There you go. All right. The Smiley. Here's my question, because they won't know that they won't know this answer by the time the week is over. Will you start streaming more often?
Hopefully.
Okay.
I'm not going to give a solid answer, but hopefully.
Yeah, the question was, will Smiley stream this week? But by the time they see this on Friday, the week's already over. So.
Yeah, not this week.
Okay. And here's a question for Kevin. I don't know if you know the answer. You're the only one there to know what really happened. How did Daniel beat Pram at Virginia Regionals?
I can help
He
answer.
ran really well, and Pram kind of was slow to start. Pretty much every single one of his matches was that. He ran like Jesus the whole day, and people kind of stumbled against him.
Do you concur?
I heard he
with
got a Quaking Punch against Pram, and then just followed it up with an Evil Ball the next turn, and kind of just won the game, which is what Yveltal plans to do.
There you
And
go. All right. We had this question last weekend. I'm not sure if JP knows this guy. It says, "Why is JP so based?"
It's the same guy, and I respond the same as Mikey did last week, and go, what are you kids talking about? What do these words mean? Stop.
All right. Let's see.
I'm like 27, man. I'm not hip with your jive anymore.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna try to. Let's see. Does commentating help you? Does it help you at Pokemon? I guess is the best way to word this question.
Yes, I think so. It'll make you think about plays more, for sure. When you're watching a game, you see all the different plays you can make, usually. When you're in the game, you're a little more, like, just narrow-minded, usually. At least for some players, of course. Like, great players see all the options, like, from that same view. And I think doing some commentating will definitely improve your game.
Yeah, it can't hurt. So, the more Pokemon games you see, the better you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you agree, JP?
Yeah, I mean, especially you get to like see some of the top games, which is pretty cool. Like being able to see like what plays are available to them and what lines they take, that could be pretty interesting. And then you have to, if you're doing a play-by-play, then you have to kind of like you kind of have to put yourself in their head, and so that's pretty interesting. And then see if your line aligns with what they end up going with. Yeah, seems pretty helpful.
That's true. All right. If it was one day before Week 3 of Winter Regionals, what would you play to win tomorrow's Regional Championship? We'll go with JP.
Yeah, like I alluded to, it would be like a bunch of stuff that is already known, but just adding cards in. I can't exactly say what, though. Sorry.
All right, buddy.
Womp womp.
I don't really have a clue. I might try... I would probably just message people, honestly. I haven't touched the format.
Seems wise.
Ready, Kevin?
If I had to pick right now for week 3, I'd probably just go like Groudon with 18 supporters.
Take that, Sableye. Got him.
And if it's Week 3 of Florida, and I don't know anything about Breakpoint, I'm copying Kevin's deck again, so I'm playing Groudon with 18 supporters.
There you go.
There we go.
How
All right.
can you lose? It's impossible.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
no, you just play the same deck, and the day 2, you go 0-5, while Kevin makes top 8.
Well, seems great.
Yeah. For Kevin,
Yeah.
yeah. Alright, JP, tell the people why you don't play with your regionals champion, Matt.
Oh, okay. a bunch of people ask. I'm like surprised they even notice and like know that I have a champion mat that I could play with. But I tell them that the finalist mat is to remind myself that I'm pretty good. I've gotten pretty good. But I don't play the champion one to remind myself that I can always improve. So that is why I'm always playing with the finalist mat.
Ooh.
That's deep.
There you go.
I didn't even know you played with the finalist one. Yeah, there you go. That's cool. All right, let's see. I don't know. Good luck to this question. How good is Swellow Evolutions, and will it see you play week 2?
No.
I don't even know what it does. Like,
It has the Delta Plus.
oh,
so-
okay.
Yeah.
It's DCE for 30 with Delta Plus.
Mhm. It
How's
beats Vespiquen and nothing else.
Yeah.
So probably 0.
Yeah,
Problem.
Seems likely. Yeah.
Let's see. And will it see play? Okay, if it sees play, it'll be one person. That'll be it.
None.
None. We're going none. All right.
Nah, man.
I hope not.
Let's see. We already kind of answered this question. Is the Raiku Eels deck the real deal?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I tested that bad boy and I went, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
When I played against it, it basically kind of felt like a mirror, just like any non-EX deck that can dish out a lot of damage. And like they don't have that going. You can heal with Rough Seas. A lot of things really can't deal with a Raikou with an Assault Vest on it. So
Mhm.
Yep.
it's pretty good.
All right. Let's see. To JP and Kenny, what are your kin types?
What?
Oh, okay. So you don't know this
I
person?
no, I do.
Oh,
And I
okay.
even know what that word means. I just, like, a bunch of people in my area got really obsessed with, like, kin. I'm sorry to all the people out there that don't know what that means. Yeah, it's basically the idea that you are actually this other thing, like, say, like a dragon, but you're like trapped in a human body, but you're really a dragon. Yeah, so I guess they're asking, like, what my kin is. I would probably be a hobbit if I had to pick, which is basically the same thing as I am now. Like, I'm already really short. I just like hang around at home and drink all day. So I'm probably a hobbit. We'll go with that.
All right, Kenny. What about you?
Am I answering for me or for Kenny?
For Kenny, you got to answer for Kenny.
You are Kenny.
Man, I don't know. It's a really tough question. I wasn't prepared.
All right. Well, I got another question for you too. Why do you consider yourself an Armildokan?
Armaldo kin.
So you. Oh, okay. So,
Maldo the Pokemon, yeah.
Oh. So Kenny, why do you consider yourself that?
I think Kenny is I think his least favorite Pokemon is Armaldo, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. I guess that was just a jab at him.
Hey, Kevin, I'm proud of you. I
Yeah,
have no idea how you knew that.
Yeah, I'm legit impressed. Like, you're up on
It came
your...
up at one point. I don't know. Maybe it was Worlds or something. I don't remember.
All right. We'll go to Smiley for this question, because everybody probably has the same answer. On a scale from 1 to 37, not sure why 37, 137 and a half, how many people would net deck the Virginia winning deck and play it in the upcoming regionals?
I don't know.
A bunch,
Such a
I guess.
letdown.
Good question again.
I mean, a bunch of people are probably already planning on playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, within a few cards, I assume.
Can you read the question again? Okay, I see it.
On a scale from 1 to 37 and a half, how many people
Probably like
would
a
net
10.
deck the Virginia regionals winning deck?
Probably like a 10. Out of 37. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I will probably agree with you, because for some reason people are like more hyped about Kevin's list. Like, oh yes, Kevin. Like Kevin's list and Danny's list. Like I don't understand. Even though Kevin lost. That dang tropical beach, just getting everybody hyped. That's happy. That's what it is, Kevin.
Probably.
Yeah.
That was.
Alright.
Sorry, I built the deck with Carl's shoe, and like half of his reasoning for wanting to put in Beach was that its price would rise, so he could sell it.
It seems like it's working.
I guess so.
All right. Do you think Yveltal is overpowered? And we'll go with Jonathan.
Overpowered? I mean, it's one of the strongest cards ever printed. But I mean, like, in any game, you're gonna have things that are just, like, super strong, which is fine as long as they're answers. I don't actually think it's overpowered or a design problem. It answers those things where it answers other things that scale if you attach a lot of energy to them. Because if you didn't have Yveltal or Mewtwo, then those things would go unchecked. I think it's fine. I think there are other more problematic things.
I agree.
You agree too, Kevin?
Yes, I do.
All right. So here's a good question. I really do like this. What's the single strongest card in expanded format?
Like Pokemon or Trainer?
No,
or,
just
you know?
single card. What's the single strongest card in expanded?
Battle compressor still?
Yeah, Battle Compressor.
I mean, the first and second deck both had 4, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
I mean, I guess VS Seeker too, but like Battle Compressor is more like, yeah, it's more salient how like strong it is, I feel. Yeah, Battle Compressor is definitely.
Yeah, it's insane. I think I'm still going to go with N, just because I think if you look at what cards win games themselves, that's probably the most.
Yep. I can see it.
Outside, what about just like the cards that are brought from expanded to help out standard? Like, so not Battle Compressor, not VS Seeker.
So I guess N would be a candidate.
Yeah.
And or maybe Laser.
Laser. Yep, I would go with Laser.
I still think my favorite, it's probably not the strongest, but my favorite card that we gained from expanded is Coerce.
That's the strong.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Alright. How late should we stay up to prep for an event?
Really, really late.
Ooh, really late.
I don't know. That's what I do. Like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I try not to stay up too late, and then it happens anyway. So.
Same.
No, I've been good this year with my sleep. I think after I bombed like Washington States or regionals or something because I didn't get enough sleep, I was like, man, this isn't worth it. And I test enough. I've been really happy getting like even 6 hours of sleep is like it's kind of on the small side, but it's like, yeah, I think I need it now. And again, I'm getting old, man.
Alright, I'll give you the answer that Puka would give. Puka would tell you make sure you get a good night's sleep, a good night rest, because you have to play 9 rounds, which is about 10 to 11 hours of Pokemon, kind of. And you definitely need the sleep. If you're running off of like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, then you're going to be tired by the end of the night. But a lot of the really good players will tell you that they don't get any sleep.
Yeah, no, I am aware of that. Yeah,
No,
I think it's a personal thing on like how much you can handle. Yeah.
It's such a weird thing to say. Okay, so this is a weird question. I made a machine that net decks from the future. Should I play the deck that says wins or counter to that deck?
Probably the deck that wins, because
Yes.
it would be you that wins if you know that's what happens. If you play something that's not that deck, you know for sure you're not going to win.
Ooh. Everybody else agree?
Yep.
I I think I could like ground that question a bit more actually, and a related question is like, if you think you found a good deck for like a new format, do you play that good deck or do you play something that beats it? And I think the obvious answer is you play that good deck, because like people haven't solved the format yet. You just play something that like is internally consistent. That'll get you a long way. I think you do the sort of metagaming in a more developed format.
Here's the answer I always give people when they ask about this stuff. Do you play the deck that wins, or do you play the deck that counters the deck? Well, like, the deck that counters the deck that wins doesn't always beat that deck. Back when SP was big, everybody's like, oh, you just play Vileplume or whatever, you just beat those SP decks or whatever, or Spiritomb, you just beat those SP decks, but that's SP still found a way to beat it. So the best decks will always find ways to counter the counter decks, because that's why it is the best deck. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright. How do you test with your team? Do you meet in real life? Do you use Skype? Do you use PTCGO?
I started testing a lot in person, with like roommates, friends, stuff like that. And I test online as well, a decent amount, whenever I can, really.
I should test online more, because I think it would let me get more games in, which is always a good thing. But for now, it's like either all in person. Honestly, if I don't have anyone to play with, I'll just play decks against myself, because that's how I roll.
I've done that before. I try. First of all, I don't test as much as I should, but when I do, I try to do it in person, because then you're like getting a good opponent. Because sometimes if you're just running it online, you might play against a Feraligatr deck, and it's not even worth your time.
The question was, how do you test with your team?
Oh, with my team, then yeah, in person as much as possible. It doesn't happen that often, but I think it's better.
How do I test with my team? Well, usually I go ask the people what decks I should play, and then they tell me what to play, and then I tell my team what I think that people tell me to play, and then that's how we test. So I don't ever test really. I guess Cube is enough.
Yeah, no, you play a lot of games.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Connections are really big in Pokemon, actually, like, just talking decks with people online all the time.
Yep.
It's really what I do.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same.
Same. Alright, I'm just going to ask the first question. We'll reword it too. Should people play Sableye Garbodor this weekend, even though I had a bad performance last weekend?
If they feel like it's a strong play, sure. If they think they can play it within the time constraints, then yeah, it's a strong deck.
Anybody else?
I think. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Sorry. It's not something I would ever recommend anybody. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I think echoing what everyone else has said, if you think you can win with it, fine, but like, it's not something that I would recommend. Like, if you ask me, oh, what's a good deck I should play, like, I'll never say Sable Garb. It just doesn't seem like it's quite there up to the level of everything else that's been doing well.
That's true. Alright, we'll ask this question to Kevin, since he's played this matchup. Some Vessel Queen will probably put Wob in their deck this weekend. How do Yveltal Maxi decks beat the variant?
You get turn 1 knockouts on Shamans, and in addition to your turn 1 Archeops, and then the other guy doesn't get to attack you back on the second turn. So that's how you do it.
All right. Well, let's go with this. Let's say you have a wall out. You have it where you can evolve. What can the Yveltal Maxi decks do to beat that still?
I attack with Darkrai as much as possible. Getting the bench damage is like really good against the low HP guys, because you're gonna take a knockout here and there that you wouldn't otherwise.
Okay. All right. And don't worry, Smiley, I got a question for you. Any tips on the Yveltal Maxie's mirror match?
Glade is really big if you can get that out. Just doing that really. Quaking Punch is also really strong if you can get it off a good lock. Just power up your own guys while they struggle. Yeah.
Alright, so I have a question. Oh, wait, what were you going to say?
Just be really conservative with resources as well. Like dart patches, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So here's a weird question to have. During the cities run, we saw me and Violet, of course, win like I think 2 or 3 cities with their Yveltal Dusknoir deck. If you're playing against an Yveltal player, do you wait to either get the Archops or the Glade out, or do you just automatically get the Glade no matter what?
Against that deck?
Yeah. Well, like if you don't know, like let's say they just start like an Yveltal and you don't know what they're playing, do you just assume they're not playing the, or even I guess even in that deck, do you still get the Glade out, or do you just get the Archops out?
If I know they're playing Dusknoir, I go for the Archeops. If I know that they're not playing it, then I just go for Glade. Like if I see Yveltal active, I'll go for Glade.
Okay, so you, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like turn 1, if you just see an Yveltal the active, you just go for Glade automatically.
Yeah, I think the Dusknoir Darkrai deck is like kind of overrated, so I would just usually go for Glade.
Okay. Alrighty, what's the best Super Scoop Up art? And we'll go with JP since he's playing. You know, he says he might play Toadbat, so he has to have his Scoop Ups already picked out.
I do. Well, personally, I pick the ones with like the black-white on frame, just because I like having them all be sort of homogeneous. But if we're just looking at art, I dig the Magnemite. I'm into that one.
I like the Majestic Dawn one with Piplup. That's my favorite.
I was going to go with the Magnemite one too.
So a little known fact about me, every time I play a card, and it's an older card, I'll always play the oldest card, if I can. I guess the option would be the Magnemite one for me. So.
Kenny does that as well.
I don't know why. Like, I always play, like, I know it's not the first, but I always play second edition base, second edition energies for some reason. I don't know why. And then, like, my energy switches are always the old energy switches and all that kind of stuff. Super Rod, I play the old Super Rod. I don't know why I'm weird like that. Alright, let's see. Does nearly every single deck enjoy having a copy of Jirachi EX?
Most.
Not every deck.
Not as much as it used to. Yeah. Cause of Shaman. If you have some juicy one of supporters, then I think it becomes more compelling. Yeah. Otherwise, or you know, you're running maxis or something. Then yeah. But no, it's not as much as of an auto include as it was before Shaman came out.
I think like based on the top 8, most listed in this top 8 actually did play Jirachi. I'm almost positive.
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
And I have it like right here.
Yeah, yeah.
I do love Jirachi in almost all my expanded decks, just to guarantee that supporter card is pretty broke. I don't know.
I do know that the Raiku Eels deck didn't play it, so that's 2 that didn't, but Danny did, Kevin did, right? So Pram did, and Rahul did, and Brian did, so it's a good amount.
Yeah. I would say that Jirachi's standard in all those decks, though. Like, Yveltal Maxis, Blastoise, I think it's usually more often Vespiquen than not, and Toadbats. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of the format.
No, that is a lot of the format. So that's a good point. Like, it actually, I guess the majority do run it.
I guess if you're playing a competitive deck that does well at tournaments, you're playing Jirachi in it?
Usually.
Most of the time, probably. The thing is, I think if you're playing like 3 or 4 Shaman, you just take one of those out and put a Jirachi in. It's the same thing pretty much, and it gives you more options.
Yeah.
Alright, this is a weird question. I don't know if everybody's tested these decks. Is Yveltal Maxis straight Yveltal or Yveltal Assault Vest? Which one is the best?
Depends on the meta, really, I think. Maxis is consistent. But they're all really consistent. I think that If you're expecting more Vespiquen, Archops is just a better call. If you're expecting a lot of like mirror matches with Yveltal, then I would probably play the Assault Vest version. I don't know. It's just, it really depends on you, I think. Like the player.
About anybody else?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of them. You can also fit Assault Vest into the Maxi version if you want to.
Yep. Very true.
Okay. Let's see. Opinions on Fright Night Yveltal in Expanded. Obviously, Daniel's list didn't run it, but how much was it played over the past weekend? / should it be played? Kevin, did you play any decks that had the Fright Night Yveltal in it?
Yeah, I believe most of the straight Yveltal decks had it. It was pretty good, from what I could tell. Just throw up a non-EX attacker and soften up a EX that makes a Night Spear more likely to kill. So, yeah, I think it was worth the inclusion in the straight Yveltal for sure. I don't know if you'd really need it in the Maxi version, because you've like delayed as a good non-EX attacker.
That was actually the reason Danny didn't play the Fright Night, because we had talked about it a lot before the regionals, and I just think that the card doesn't pull its weight most of the time. The like ways he was talking about it, like usually don't come up, like shutting off Spirit Links and all that. You have to, get it active. I just don't think it's the greatest card. But if I was running like a straight Yveltal, I'd probably just include one.
By EJP?
Yeah, I'm not certain that you can fit it in the Maxis build. It's already kind of tight. Yeah, I agree that if you're running the Maxi list build, you probably have a chance to do it. In all my Yveltal stuff, I haven't really considered it too strongly. I don't know that I've ever really needed it, but I think some people that have played it liked it. But just me personally, just due to my lack of experience with it, I wouldn't.
I'm gonna throw a thing out. If you're expecting a lot of Vespiquen Vileplume, the Friday Night Yveltal is the way to go, because you can light there for Vileplume and doesn't
Yeah, it's
pass.
stuck.
Yep.
Alright, do you think Lando
They can
Bats...
easy.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah. Correct. Yes, they can still AZ, but
If you're playing
They can
AZ,
just
you're
AZ.
playing a bad list. Oh, Smiley froze on
Fine.
that.
That's easy.
Oh, he's playing AZ. Oh. Alright, so watch out for Smiley. He's playing Vespiquen Vileplume with AZ.
Not even close.
Oh! Alright,
No, that is-
let's see. Do you think Lando Bats will see play due to the hype of Eels?
I think it could. It does well against the Raiku deck as well. So, I could... not the Raiku, the Vespiquen.
I was gonna
So-
say, we were talking about the Eels deck right now.
Yeah, my bad. It does well against both Vespiquen and Eels, so I could see it spike and play.
I'd just be scared of Toad is the main thing. That's why it won't like take over the format. 'Cause- Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still a little afraid of just Toad and Yveltal with Toad in it. So you will beat the Lightning decks and you'll beat the Vespiquen, but if you don't hit enough of those, you might not do well.
Can it beat the Yveltal decks?
Can? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'd rather be on the Yveltal side.
Yes.
If I had to
Yeah.
choose.
It's not something you want to see if you're Landorus.
So, 2 out of 4 of the main decks being played, probably Lando Bats, probably not a good call. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Seems kind of risky. Yeah.
Or
I
maybe
think
they're
you
all
want to.
lying. Maybe they're all lying and they think Lando Bats is a good play. Who knows?
I'm going to be straight up with you. I think it's a good play, and I will not play it.
Maybe I should call Mahone in a second and be like, yo, is Lando Bats good still?
He doesn't even like it right now.
Yeah, I know. Alright, we kind of already answered this question. What decks were you surprised to see make day 2? What about top 8? What's your opinions on the decks going into week 2? We already talked about Raiku Eels, but was there any other decks in top 32 that was surprising?
We saw a Blastoise make top 8, which I don't think a lot of people expected, but I know we were actually testing that deck. It's solid, but I mean, I don't know. There's also the Mega Ray Altaria deck that got top 4. People might not have expected that.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked to see Mega Ray make day 2. I was a little surprised to see it make top 8. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't like crazy decks that did super well.
There was that Pikachu Eels deck that Grant Manley played. Kind of interesting, kind of
Yeah,
weird.
it was basically Raiku Eels with Pikachu in it.
Yeah. It just says Pikachu, so... Yeah.
So here's a weird question: if Toad drops because of the threat of Vestal Queen coming up for some reason, like everybody's saying, Toad Bats might not be a good play for week 2. Does Mega Rayquaza spike in popularity, or could it does it seem like a better play because of less Toad?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, it already kind of surprised me with its performance in week 1 in that it's still viable. So yeah, if it misses the bad matchups, it could do well again. I don't know how gutsy people will be to play it, but it's proven that it's still viable. So yeah, I can win.
All right.
Raiku's kind of good against it.
Yes.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Although, Altari seems cool.
Yeah, Altair seems real cool. Let's see. We already talked about Sableye enough. Skip that question. Thoughts on Donphan and its placement currently in the format? Kevin, go. How does Donphan do in the format?
No, it loses to everything.
Okay. What about you, JP? Do you see the Donphan making a comeback?
Yeah, it seems kind of subpar. I can't imagine you want to see Yveltal. I can't imagine you want to see Toad. So that seems kind of bad.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright.
Uh-huh.
Alright, are Totina / Selgar good plays for week 2?
What was that?
Is Sidesword Giratina or Selgar good play for week 2?
I don't think Sogor
no.
is... Totina got 9th in Virginia, so they didn't do awful, but there were only a few... Was there only one, maybe... two... Yeah, just one Totina in the top 32, so... Doesn't seem that great.
I heard people that played against Trevenant Excelgor day 1, and it can catch a couple good matchups, but I'm pretty sure most of them finish with even records. So.
Yeah, I think this Selgar decks just have a hard time setting up is the main problem. I can see it being off their back. You just whiff the Trevenant and your opponent just goes crazy with trainers, then you pretty much just lift a bunch of stuff already.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alright, to Kenny. Alright, Kevin, good luck with this one. Does Pokemon pay for your travels when you commentate? If so, what other benefits do you get from commentating?
Your travel is taken care of, so yeah.
Their room is taken care
I don't know.
of.
I don't know what other perks they get. I don't know if there's
I know
a
they get
Pokemon
free
boost
stuff.
or something.
I know
They get
they get playmats
free-
and
Oh.
stuff like that. They get the the stream playmats that they play on.
Mm.
Seen those float around.
I think they also get paid in boxes too, if I'm not... Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. I think they get paid almost the same as a judge would. If the judges, if they're judging, they get the playmat and then whatever the judge gives it. I just imagine they get a streamer part of that one, and then they get paid in boxes as well. I don't think Pokemon ever pays anybody just in cash or money. So.
No, they're on payroll.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
The more you know.
Yeah, I was talking to Kenny, and he said, yeah, he gets a paycheck.
Ooh. All right, let's see here. Okay, we already answered that question. What's going to win regionals for Max Armitage?
What is going to win regionals?
What's going to win regionals? He wants to know what's the deck that's going to win.
I would guess Yveltal again.
I would guess Yveltal. One of the regionals.
sure, man. It'll probably yeah, no. You know what? Let's go with something. Let's go with something lightning, just to be contrary.
Ooh, JP's thinking about playing lightning decks, guys. Watch out, spooky stuff.
Pew pew pew.
Let's see. Okay, how does the Toadbats versus Archops match go?
Is that for me?
I mean, anybody.
I
I've
guess
never
so,
played the
yeah.
match
Someone
that
else.
much.
I haven't played it either.
Okay, the way it goes for me is if they whiff an Archops and that can Quake a Punch, they're not going to get down the Archops, and then you're going to do like fantastic. They get the turn with Archops, you're going to be in trouble. But you also play Silent Lab in your deck, so you can shut down the Keldeo, you shut down the Darkrai. You can come in weird situations. If your laser, put them to sleep. You can win as well. It depends. Like Brandon said earlier, if the Yveltal player can get like a turn 2 Quake and Punch on yourself, then followed by big Yveltal, then maybe you're in trouble. But my Toad deck plays Dedenne, so sometimes you can smack a Yveltal back for a knockout. I don't know. What do you think, Brandon?
I mean, I think just it's basically a normal Yveltal matchup where you just try to go in with like babies and get up a big Yveltal at one point. Try to do Ice Cyclones for knockouts and stuff. Archeops just helps, like, you know, getting rid of bats. That's about it. Like, it doesn't change too much. It does change a lot, actually. The damage is very significant, but like, I just think you change like the amount that you win by getting out the Archeops.
And another thing that's going to come down to as well is if you can flip heads on Super Scoop Up while they're Y-Cyclone stuff, then you're going to be in a better position.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Alrighty, Chipotle or Moe's?
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
What the heck is Moe's? What is that?
It's another
Pretty much the
burrito
same
place.
I've never heard of it in my life. Is it good?
I like it. I like it better
Yeah,
than
it's
Chipotle.
fine.
Well, I can't answer because I never had one of those.
I'm gonna say Moe's is better, though. They have the cool slogan too. The "Welcome to Moe's."
Yeah, they yell at you when you walk in the door.
Yeah. So. All right. Will Raiku Eels making top 8 influence the metagame? How so? And is it a good play this weekend?
Yes, it'll influence the metagame. I think Yveltal will be afraid of it, just because, you know, Raikou. I think... What else did it say? Yeah, it is a good play this weekend, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see decks potentially trying to patch up that lightning weakness, maybe attempting to do that. Don't know how successful they'll be. I mean, you kind of don't really want like Shadow Circle in Yveltal since it's kind of like dead in every other matchup, but I don't know. Some people might try.
Alright, so somebody asked me, why is Pyroar not dominating the format because there's such a heavy EX metagame right now?
Well,
I'll
there's a lot of evolutions, like Flareon and Mega Manectric, and you literally can't beat those. So
Yeah, I'm good. I'll decline.
Yeah, even Toad Bats can beat it. Seems pretty favorable with all the lasers and the bats and the punches.
Yep.
Alright, well that's all the questions I have. The last one was a Facebook message. But, alright guys, I guess the first question, what regionals are you attending? I didn't even ask that first of all.
Wow. Solid. I'm going to St. Louis.
same.
Anaheim and Clackamas, Oregon.
What the
So
heck?
Two of them. Yeah, they're not doing it in Salem this year. They're doing it in Clackamas, wherever that is.
Don't worry, there's not
I guess Jacob's not going to win.
Like,
So I guess Jacob's not going to win if it's not in Salem.
I don't know, man. As long as he's in Oregon, he might take a third regionals in a row. We'll see.
has anybody won triple back-to-back, regionals in the same place?
I don't
know.
know.
Oh, that's a good question.
We can look it up on the history sheet.
That may be a little while
Not
to
that I
do.
know of. I don't know any.
Good question. And guys, don't be confused. I know they said St. Louis, but there's not a St. Louis Regionals. That's Collinsville. So
Collins.
St. Louis area.
I know,
Yeah.
but I get messages all the time. There's not a St. Louis Regionals. I
It's-
know, guys. I know.
It's the same staff, and it's like 20 minutes away. It's pretty much.
Yeah,
The
you
same
can
thing.
literally stay in your hotel. Like, if you accidentally booked it in the St. Louis area, you could just stay in your hotel and then just drive to Collinsville and then drive back, and you'll be A-okay. Like, I promise, it's not that far of a drive. Alright, guys. Well, do y'all have anything else to say before we head on out?
No.
No, it's been fun. It's been a good time. Thanks for listening to me. I tend to ramble, so.
That's okay. Not as bad as Russell did last week, and Russell rambled about 15 minutes about a single question.
He's pretty entertaining, though.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't blame him, yeah.
I'll let him keep talking.
Look, guys, we all gotta do good this weekend too, because 2 out of my 3 people made top 8. So don't let me down.
I'll do my best.
Oh, nice. No, that's
Day
good.
2.
I'm gonna take that.
Oh, and they all made day 2 as well. So no, wait, no, Russell
Right
did it.
on.
Russell did it. No, Russell. I don't
Oh.
know what happened.
Yeah.
To Russell.
Rahul top 8'd, Mikey got day 2, and Russell didn't.
Yeah, there we go. So the 2 of the made top 32. That's what I messed up on. But still,
I just need to scrape together like 100 more points from states and regionals, man. I'll take what I can get. So
and then
if
you
I
get your
got,
invite.
hmm?
You'll get your
Oh.
invite then. You'll be at 300.
think I'll get day 2 if I do that.
Yeah, I think you want to be above 600 if possible.
Right. So
I think
that'll.
That's good.
I think the cutoff's going to be slightly lower, just based on who has done well at regionals so far. I think it's going to be slightly below 600, but to be safe, you want to get above it.
Yeah, I was actually gunning for 640, 650.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man, just take all the points you can get.
Yep. We're
Alright.
going.
I got a question. Kind of a weird question, but I know Smiley will have the best answer since he's the only one participating. Do you think they should have the Boston Open again?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was fun. It was kind of easy though. The way they did the top 32 thing made it easier than most regionals. But I mean, it was 512 players, like 7 rounds day 1. It was pretty competitive though. It was really fun to do, like just after you bomb worlds, like I did, and then yeah, I got 75 CP there, so like that just helped boost
Nice.
my season a lot.
Would you make any changes to the Boston Open?
Yeah, the structure, like I'd probably make it a 9-round regionals, like just a normal regionals, probably.
Does the Boston Open take a BFL for regionals?
Yeah. it does.
Yeah.
But Brandon already has. You have 2 of them filled up, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 more left to go.
Nice.
Or do you want to replace that 75?
I'd like to.
Nice.
I mean,
That-
states.
that's
Just
the
win
way.
all 4 states.
That's the
He
spirit.
can't win all 4 states because that means he'll be coming to Arkansas. And oh no, he's probably going to Oklahoma instead.
I'm gonna go to Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea because like Arkansas was like till like 2 a.m.
I'll never go there again. Probably.
Oh no.
Womp womp.
All right, guys. Well, do you have anything else to say before we head out?
No.
I think I'm good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for participating in this Skype call or the regionals question and answer. Especially to Kevin Baxter, last minute joining us. Kenny wasn't feeling good. He said he had a huge headache and couldn't participate. So, but hopefully everybody does well at regionals. If you see any of us come up, I know like Brandon, Kevin said we'll be at the Collinsville and JP will be in Cali somewhere, right? I forgot the city.
Anaheim. Yeah.
Anaheim. There we go. Never been to California, so. But thanks guys for watching. Hope you have a great day. Go look at regionals. Let me know what happens. Come up and say hi. Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.